this month so far. I mean, I had started off with 1.2K and I'm already currently at about close to 7K. And before that, March was another month. I started with 825 and I was able to bring in 15K.
Wow, that's all been happening in the 5 months since you started your live account.
Yeah. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Antonio. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you and hear you clearly.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining as well.
How are you, man? I know it's really, really early in the morning for you now.
Yeah, right now it's about 6 in the morning, but we're doing good. We're alive. We're here.
You always wake up early. You're a morning person.
Yeah.
I can see that.
We struggle a little bit, but we make that.
Do you have like a little morning routine that you do?
Nothing too crazy. Really, just as soon as I wake up, I definitely wash my face, get my coffee, and then start looking at TradeLocker.
Yeah.
Can you pretty much figure out what I'm about to do for the trading session?
I don't want to jump the gun here, but when I see your first and last name, I assume you're drinking good coffee.
Well, pretty good. My cup of coffee and it's doing its job.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. We are 9 hours apart, but as you can see, we have the same energy and same light in our eyes, even though it's Friday.
Yes.
So, yeah, I just wanted to thank you for joining in. I believe these people are going to have great questions, but let's just start at the beginning and maybe if you could tell us a bit more about your background. Did you study? What did you study? What was you like? Where did you first work? I don't know. Just tell us everything that you can think of.
So I'll take it back to high school because I feel like that's where kind of everything started for me. Of course, where I figured out where I wanted to go into business, entrepreneurship, and trading. So when I graduated, before I graduated, of course, I was looking into what colleges I wanted to attend and signing up for trade school or anything that I wanted. I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. Nothing fit really. And at that point, like most people do, I tried to research what to do. How do I make all this money? What can I do to become wealthy? And there was three main things that it's either those rich people are real estate investors, they have businesses, or they trade the stock market. After looking at all the details for those three things, of course, I didn't have the money for real estate investing. I didn't have the money to start a business, but I found videos on YouTube University that you can make millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars trading penny stocks. And I feel like that's where it really started. But it wasn't that I got in right away, but it was kind of there. It was an option. Of course, I worked 9 to 5 pretty much my whole life. Still now, I'm still working. I was working at a pizza, round table pizza, working at a gas station as a waiter, with all those basic 9 to 5s, really.
Yeah.
But at those times, I was also repairing devices. I was the guy in high school where, hey, I need my phone fixed. I need my iPad fixed. And that really stuck to me, because I had my hustle, like my little side hustle, so I was making money with repairing all those devices. And that led to where I'm at now. I currently manage Apple authorized service providers. I take care of all Apple repairs. So that's my main 9 to 5 at the moment, but I'm looking into, or I want trading to become my full-time job, really. I wanted to take over me not having to go to work anymore. Not that I don't want to work. I love trading. I love looking at the charts. And that's something I'd rather have all my time into.
Yeah. So you were an entrepreneur from the start.
Yeah, we had at least I had the mindset already going into that. I even went into network marketing at the time. And I feel like that's what sparked everything as well, becoming business-minded, entrepreneurship, because that allowed me to open up my mind. And those people were much older than me at the time. They would bring me books. Before that, it was one of those books, and I feel like a lot of people, after you reach that point, that is like, wow, everything just changes. It's like your mindset just completely shifts.
Yeah,
and it's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
Quite a journey.
How long ago could you say that you got interested in trading?
I actually just, one of my Snapchat memories from 7 years ago, I was looking into penny stocks at the time.
Wow.
So that was maybe, 2 years after high school that I really started to look into trading. Because again, I knew that was one of those options, but it wasn't something that I got in right away. But 2 years shortly after high school, that's when I really started to look into it. But I went into YouTube University, and I thought that after looking at all these videos, I was going to be able to make thousands, right? I was going to be able to become a millionaire.
Yeah.
And long story short, of course, that was not the case. I started off with $1,000 just to kind of mess with the actual trading platform. Once I thought I fully understood trading, and boy, it humbled me.
Yeah.
It humbled me. I didn't lose a full 1,000, but I lost maybe 600, 700, and that's when I was like, you know what? I need to go back into studying. I really need to figure this out. I can't be losing this much. I was like $8 the minimum wage at that time, so that was a lot of money for me.
Yeah.
Right. So I went back into studying for sure. I know for sure I spent probably a whole year trading, demo trading, and trying to figure out a strategy.
Yeah.
Actually tried to learn from somebody, because YouTube University was, all right, there's this video here, how to trade penny stocks there, and there was no clear path, right? I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, all of your own. Yeah, all great stories start like that, man.
Yeah, it's just this whole time, because it wasn't just that. It's been a long journey, long journey, because I started went into blue chip stocks, right? Trading Apple, Microsoft, and went into then options trading. And finally, I feel like now trading forex, the pairs, but now I focus totally on indices. And that's what's my bread and butter.
Your bread and butter. Okay, so when you started going into indices more, then you got some momentum going.
Yeah, definitely.
You remember when was that? Just for a reference, couple of years ago.
That, I mean, with forex, I really started about 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago when I really started looking into the pairs, Euro, USD, GBP, JPY, gold, and it's been maybe since probably a little over 6 months for sure that I've been trading the indices, and that's where everything has changed. That's where I've been solely focusing just on the indices. I no longer trade any other pair. I fully focus on the NASDAQ, Dow Jones, was 30, and sometimes I will trade the S&P.
And do you know what was the reason behind it? How come did you become more consistent with this? Was it because you were focusing only on one types of pairs, or was it because these indices are better for you, kind of like the way you trade? I don't know. What's the reason?
Well, it's, and I can say I've been through it all. I've been through everything everybody says, where you're losing, you're revenge trading, bad risk management, sleepless, switching different signal providers, switching strategies, over leveraging. I truly feel like I've gone through it all. And there's many things I've done to overcome it. Switching to indices is one of them, because for me, what works for me is I want to be in and out of the markets. Because I've tried swing trading, and it's just, I'm looking at the charts consistently. I can't go on my day if I know I'm losing. I want to close the trade. I want to keep looking at the charts and not do anything else until I know I took that win. So being in is moving so quick, I feel like that at least is one of those things that has helped me. Because if I take a loss for the day, okay, are you traded for the day? That's it. I don't need to wait an hour or till the next day to know if I won or lost the trade.
Yeah, you're trying to get to the goal, get to your finish as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said you've been through it all. You've been through revenge trading, you've been through bad risk management, all the different stuff that most successful traders embark on. What would you say is if you could, looking back, Is there one thing out of all of that you wish you had known before you started?
Oh wow, well there's many things, but I'll try to keep it simple here. I feel that what has worked for me is three main things. Breaking everything down, like truly breaking everything down. Figure out why you lose, why you win, your psychology. Like really, because maybe you take a win and you're okay with it. You're done for the day. You're gonna close the charts now because you're happy you took the win. But why did you actually win? All right. Why did you? What played out, and what rules did you take? Did everything just fully go your way? All right. Why did you take the loss? What did you do wrong? What did you truly do wrong? And you really got to figure that out, because you might be thinking, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for the next trading session. I'll try to make that one tomorrow. But no, like you're not gonna get any better. At least this is what I would tell myself. You will not get any better if you don't truly break everything down and figure out why you're taking those wins, why you're taking those losses, why is your mindset this way. Yep. You won't move forward. At least I wasn't able to move forward until I truly broke everything down.
Did you break it down? Sorry to interrupt. Did you break it down somewhere? Did you wrote it down somewhere? How did you know?
Step by step, everything. Your losses, okay, but really into detail. Like, okay, I'm taking, for example, this trade I took a loss because the previous 5-minute candle closed this way.
Okay.
All right. I took a loss because I wasn't patient to wait until it actually reached the entry I wanted.
Oh.
All right. I won the trade because I actually saw the higher low for the next higher, right? Breaking it down completely. And the next thing was noting down my rules, right? And sticking to those rules, because I truly believe that you're writing those rules for you to become successful. You're writing those rules because you see that if you follow those rules, everything will play out, right? Now, you could follow everything to a T and still take a loss, right?
Yeah.
You can still, even if you follow everything exactly the way you said that you have to wait for it in your rules and all that good stuff, you can still lose. But you noted it down for a reason, because if you follow those rules over a certain period of time or throughout the journey, you're going to become profitable. You're going to make profit, right? You know, for example, for me, I know that if I take more than 2 trades, that third trade has a 90% chance of me losing. The fourth trade has 100% chance of me losing. The fifth, 110% chance of me losing, right? It's just like, what is the point of me continuing to trade more than 2 times if I know that the third trade 90% chance, 100% chance, 110% chance of me losing?
Yeah.
Right? And those rules are set for you to succeed. Those rules are set for you to actually be able to move forward. If you follow those rules, you will actually be able to become profitable, make money in the market. One of the other rules I have is, or at least, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. One of the other things is, I'm so sorry, lost my train of thought there.
Take your time.
But noting down your rules, right? If you follow it, you will be able to. You're noting all these rules for a reason. So you just have to follow your trading strategy, and that will put you on a different path. Because I've gone through where I noted down all these rules, but I don't stick to it, right? And I start all over. I blow an account, I blow a funded account, and I start all over again. And I ignore all those rules. I continue to trade and break those rules again. It's like, do you really want to continue to start all over?
Yeah.
Like, really, do you really want to start all over again? And I've gone through it so many times myself. I've broken my rules countless times, right? And you just have to have faith in that, because you wrote those down. You wrote those rules down because you know that will take you to the next step. And I recently just heard this quote where, like, you have to have faith in yourself, faith in really what you do, because you'll go into a plane not knowing if the pilot is good and we're gonna land safely, but you have faith, right? You're relaxing, you're just excited about the destination. You don't worry, right?
Yeah.
So if you have these rules, you got to know that you did it because you know that it's going to be the next step for you to become better. You have to have faith in it. You have to follow those rules. It may be discouraging at first because you're not profitable yet, you're not winning, but you don't want to continue to start all over.
Yep.
I've been doing that. I've been losing. I've been not profitable. And it sucks. It hurts, right? It really hurts knowing that you have to continue to start all over. You buy a 100K account challenge and blow it. You start with $1,000 account, you blow it, and then you have to start all over. You have to work for that money again. And it just gets to a point where it's better if, let's say you're down 7% on a funded account, right? And do you really want to just go all in? Like, you're going to have to start all over if you blow that account.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason for you to try to break your rules or change your rules or switch strategies at that point, because let's say you're down 7% and you're risking 1 or 2. If you take 3 winning trades, after that you're back at negative 1%.
Yeah.
Some people will try to, you know what, let me just go all in because I'm about to lose this account anyways. But then that means you start all over again.
Yeah.
Right? There could be a higher low for the next higher high. You don't have to continue creating lower highs for the next lower low.
Yep. Yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean. So with these rules and also with these rules that you broke down, and also with that emotion, you don't want to start all over again. This is how you built yourself up, and you are now, if I'm correct, you're now a funded trader working. How's that working out for you?
It's good. I've been funding ways. It's for sure True Forex funds, my Forex funds, which unfortunately they're all closed. So that made me switch or realize that I need to adapt or make a bit of a change, because sure, some prop firms are still up and running, they're great, but I want to be able to make sure that I can make money with my own funds. I want to be sure that I don't have to worry that they're going to close next month. And again, there's definitely prop firms that will probably still be here forever, but I want to be able to trade my own capital, grow my own capital, which is what I've been doing and what I've been doing this past beginning of 2024, and it's been working out great. The way I do it is I compound every winning trade. I start upping my lot size every winning trade, and of course I don't try to over risk. Percentage-wise, it does change a little bit because you're starting off with a smaller account. But really, with the funded accounts, if you're only risking 1%, you really only have 10 trades that you could take anyways at that point. So it's almost like you're risking 10%,
yep.
Right? So I've been able to slowly compound, grow that account, apply really those similar concepts to my personal live account, and it's been working out this month so far. I mean, I had started off with 1.2K, and I've already withdrawn quite a bit, and I'm probably currently at about close to 7K after withdrawing as well. And before that, when was it? I think March was another month. I started with 825, and I was able to bring in 15K.
Wow. And that's all been happening in the 5 months since you started your live account.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the start. You've been learning quite a lot, and you know yourself right now. And this is something that is, as we've seen in all the other auditoriums, incredibly important.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you for sharing that, those numbers and your situation right now. So what are kind of like goals for the future? Do you have like set goals or something?
Yeah, so I really want to have trading become my full-time job, really. I want to have time freedom. I want to be able to do anything I want anytime. I'm not really a realistic person. I'd rather buy experiences.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing lately with all the withdrawals that I've had with my personal account. I will buy trips. I will go on vacation. I want that type of life where I don't have to go to the 9 to 5 and spend 8 hours there. I really want to be able to trade and then work on myself, work on with other traders, work with the community that we could all grow, because I really find this to be something that it's you versus you.
Yeah.
Right? It's it's not me versus you in trading, because you can make 1,000 and I can make $100, or I can make $1,000, and it won't affect either one of us, because you winning doesn't mean that I'm going to lose. You winning doesn't mean I'm going to win, or me winning doesn't mean you're going to lose, because in this game it's really you versus you. You have to be able to grow from yesterday. You have to be 1% better every day, as they said.
Yeah, and
Along that, yeah, it's been something that I want to grow in, and become a full time trader eventually.
yeah. Is it okay if we can talk more about that? I'm just curious if you would be interested in showing us how you're doing this, because going from 1K to 7K in 1 month in 17 days is impressive, and going from, what did you say, 7K to 15K, be able to travel the world and buy experiences like you said. I believe that there's a lot of people in here that are going to really be curious to see. So if you are willing, I think it'd be great if you could show us a little bit of, if you are not scared of sharing your secrets.
And I'm all in for it. I mean, like I said, right, is you versus you. So me showing you this, I really hope that you could take something from this, learn a thing or two. I'll be more than happy to show how I analyze the charts. Hopefully everybody understands, because I've actually tried to show a few friends and they got a little bit confusing at first, but maybe because they never really looked at the charts before, or at least they had super basic understanding. But hopefully I could break it down to a point where you could take something from this.
Is it different than from what we've seen? Did you just find your path from one of all the other strategies that are available, or did you find your own?
Well, it's quite interesting, because so when I broke everything down for myself and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, that's where I kind of, again, found what works for me. And without me realizing that strategy was already out there, which is really fair value gaps and supply and demand that I'm trading. But when I was figuring out how the market moves and where the price goes, and really trying to figure out my full strategy, I then realized, when I was going back onto other people's trading, it was already a thing. Fair value gap is what supply and demand is what I trade, and it was already out there. I thought I was inventing something myself, but it was already out there. But I'm treating it, I guess, somewhat in my way, my own way.
Okay, but that's good, because you found out something by yourself, and then you got a confirmation that this actually works. I mean, you knew it worked, but it was kind of interesting to see. Well, that's an interesting story, I would have to say. Well, thank you. If you have time, that'd be great if you could show us a little bit.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell everybody to drop the comments and questions if they have, and yeah, let's see
Okay.
how you're doing it, man.
All right. Just give me a few seconds here. I'm gonna switch over to my desktop, and then we can look at that chart. Or unless we're gonna answer some questions now.
I don't see any. Let's start the screen sharing, and then we can see what's going to happen. I'm sure there'll be more questions after that.
Perfect. I'm about to switch over. Give me a few seconds, you guys.
No problem.
Antonio, hello.
Hey, I can see the chart. I believe everybody else can also. So yeah, I can see the chart and I can see you as well.
Perfect. All right, let's see. All right, you're able to hear me good?
Yeah, we can see everything and hear.
Perfect. Well, market just opened, so I would actually, I'll kind of go through what I would be looking at now to see if we could actually look into a play here. And I'll break it down as well while I'm looking over the charts here. So these are trades from yesterday, which I could go over as well. That way we can see how I trade exactly. Not finding anything I really want to get into right away. I think we actually might have missed a few entries already. Yeah. All right, no worries. So I'll go based on what I was looking at yesterday. I'll go into real trades that I actually took yesterday. So what I do is I simplify the way I trade. There's three things that I look for. The direction. I need to figure out the direction of the pair or of the indice I'm trading. I trade fair value gaps, so I find the direction. look for the gap, and then I find my entry.
Okay.
Those are the three. I've simplified it to those two things: direction, gap, and entry. So here I saw that on this trading session here. Let me do this box here so we can see what I was actually looking at the time. So that's what I was paying attention to. Of course, I mean I could see on the previous price action that we're trending up, is pushing up. So I know my direction is to the upside. Okay. Now we had major news, so I did have to be quite careful because it already made a big push up. There's already a big move. So this is where you could also tell yourself, do I really want to risk my full the full risk that I normally take, or do I want to lower that? Because I will lower depending on what I see. Maybe if you're on the funded account, you trade 1%, maybe I'll go 0.5%, 0.5%, and make sure, of course, that I actually find a proper entry. Okay. So I trade gaps and supply and demand. Again, mine's a bit different, but it works for me. What I'm looking at here is I see that there was area of interest right here, right? There was right before this, there was a nice push. Okay. Hopefully you guys don't get lost here. I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. So market open was right in this candle right here. Okay. 6:30 a.m. What I see here, let me actually remove this. What I see here is that there's a nice push up, right? It was downtrending for about an hour here. I'm on the 15-minute chart, so it's trending down for an hour. I'm seeing that we should potentially see a pullback. Okay. Now there was a gap created right here on the 15-minute chart. Because this wick, it didn't really fill the wick on this next 15-minute candle. Now, it isn't the best one, so this is where you'll want to reduce your risk because it's not super clear. I like to have two confluences, one gap on the 5-minute and another gap on the 15-minute. But here it's not so clear. So maybe at the time I was like, okay, either I don't take the trade because it's not super clear, or I reduce my risk, because there's no point of risking if it's not a clear play. So I go down to the 5-minute chart and I see, let's go back. I see that there was a previous gap here that was filled. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see exactly what I'm looking at. There was low demand area here because we got a red candle. This would be a red candle. Sorry, I'm so used to these charts. The white candles would be the red candles, blue is the green candles, right?
Yeah.
Upside, downside. So we can see here, there was a gap, right? This is a perfect example, actually. Of course, I wasn't trading in this session, but we can see there's a gap. That top wick didn't fill this bottom wick. And this gap needs to be filled. This body candle at 125 created a gap. Now, it doesn't always fill right away. It can take some time for it to reach. Maybe it doesn't reach it at all, but it has to be filled. It has to be filled at one point. And that's exactly what happened here. I take my entries on the 5-minute. So if I were to take this trade, for example, which I wouldn't because it's not in my trading session, but if it was, my entry would have looked something like this. I'll be wanting to get in right here and stop loss somewhere around here, and I try to let it run. And that's exactly what my entry would look like. There's a perfect example of a gap right here. Got the gap, filled it, reached that 5-minute area, and then started to push up from there. All right, so we had a nice push there. But going back into what I was looking at before, all right, hopefully it doesn't look too messy here. So on the 5-minute, all right, might lose you guys here a little bit. There wasn't no clear play really on NAS, which is why I didn't even take a trade on NAS yesterday. But I had it set up to where if I were to take a trade, then this is what I would be looking at. All right, the one I actually did trade was US 30. But we see, again, this is where I would want to take a trade. Even if I took this trade, let's see if it would have played out. I would have taken the play on the 5-minute, which would have been right there. My stop loss, right about here. I always risk about 30 points on NAS. And we would have had a nice push. We would have had a really nice push. Let me see if I could actually give you guys the example of the one I traded. Let's see. All right. So we traded US 30 yesterday. Look at the 30. Hopefully I don't lose you guys here because that wasn't the best example there.
I'm following like quite clearly. Don't worry about it.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. Here we go. This is the one I did trade yesterday, and this one played out very nice. All right, so market open. Let's see. Market open was at this candle right here. All right, so this is what I saw exactly. Okay, so if we look at the previous 15-minute candle before market open, we had a very nice push up. Okay. Nice push up. There was a gap to fill right on this wick, right? The price closed up here, had a nice area to fill right there. So I add this line knowing that that's in a 15-minute gap.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that line was there. I then go into the 5 minute to see if we could find confluence so we could then trade off the 5 minute. Because as long as the 15-minute and 5 minute are close to each other, then I look for an entry on the 5 minute. So we
Okay.
can then see again market open right here. So market open on this candle right here, this push right here. There's a gap to fill on that 5 minute right here. This is the 15-minute candle right here. Okay. This top candle is the 15-minute candle. All right. That was where the gap was to fill, which it reached at about 6:40, 10 minutes after New York session open. I had my buy limit at the 5 minute. There was a gap right here. Hopefully everybody can see that clearly. There was a gap to fill. The top wick needed to fill this bottom wick. The candle after this is what creates the gap. That top wick and this bottom wick create the gap. So that means it has to reach this area before it can continue to the upside. Okay. I hope everything is clear there. So this top wick has to be filled. Once the next 5 minute candle pushes up, there's a gap to fill from that price where it closes. Eventually, sure, continue to push up at 6:30. And right around 6:40 is when it reached that area. And that's where I got in. So I got in at this candle right here. Candle at 6:40, I was in. Okay. It wasn't until about 10, 15 minutes after that it started to push up.
Okay. I can see it.
Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. So this area here is really my area of supply, demand, and the fair value gaps, as they say. That is my area of interest. I always go in on that 5 minute entry. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. Sure, sometimes I took a trade, or I actually missed the trade because it was 1 point away, literally. So sometimes it can be so precise that you may miss it. But that is why you could sometimes also get in on the 15 minute. And look, the stop loss never would have gotten hit. But I like to go for the 5 minute because it's typically much more precise. And it'll get you a better entry. You can see here, literally, I was only in drawdown. I was literally almost no drawdown here. Very little. That was the drawdown I was in. And sure, of course, some won't play out. I will take losses, but this is what has been working for me. And the other thing I like to do, what works for me, is adjusting my stop loss in profit. Because once it's in profit, there's no reason for me to risk anymore on this position because I'm already in profit. I would start revenge trading if I'm all the way up to, let's say, a 1-to-1 and it goes and hits my stop loss. Or if I'm at 1, if I'm going to 1-to-2 and it reaches a 1 to 1.8 and it hits my stop loss, it's like, man, I was in profit. Very nice. Why did I let it go against me? Why? And then it just goes into the cycle of revenge trading. It goes into, let me take another trade. Man, why did I do this? It's just, no, for me, adjusting my stop loss and profit is what works.
I get it. I understand you, man. We have a question, though, in this section. You spoke about it, but maybe if you can give us a number. The question is, how many accounts did you fail before you became profitable?
Oh, man, I honestly can't even count them.
Really?
Maybe 10 accounts for sure. I would say about 10 accounts. I've definitely blown 10 accounts. And this is either a mix of 100K accounts with the prop firms and $500 that I would put into my own account. And this was in the beginning, right? I stopped trading my own capital once I realized that there's funded accounts. Once I realized that there was funded accounts, I was all in for it. I was like, wow, I could use 100K and not have to use my money. I'm only putting in $500 to buy this account. So really, I've lost a lot, but I've been pretty much break even because I would get payouts. I would get my money back. But then I would be overconfident and try to make more money. And then I end up losing it, blowing that account. At one point, I believe I was the top 3 on True Forex funds on the 100K account for the payout that I got. And it was an amazing feeling. It was beautiful. It was great. But then I got in that stage where I was like, wow, I'm doing good. You know, I got this.
No.
And then it just kind of spirals down into where you you think you fully got it, but start advanced trading, or you want to get back into that same status of being at the top or making all this money with that account, and it could take a toll on you sometimes. But it's been a good amount of accounts that I've loaned for sure.
There's another question, but I believe that you answered it already. What makes you profitable? I mean, you explained it, learning about your trades, documenting everything. Why did you win this trade? Why did you lose this trade? And believing in yourself. That's the two main points. But I take from this session with you. I believe that's not just for trading, it's for everything in life. You need to understand what was the reason behind this bad decision, or what was the reason behind this good thing that's happening to you. And that's the only way you can optimize yourself. Angel, I can't believe also it's been almost an hour, so we've been speaking for quite some time, and it was great. It was great to talk to you, man. Thank you for sharing all these details with us, talking about the numbers and showing us. We saw it on the charts as well in the TradeLocker account. I would just ask you if you could share your social media link or something where people can see your trading day to day.
Yes,
I'm gonna send yours. Should I send your Instagram? I believe I have it.
yeah, that'd be great. I know it might be a bit confusing on how I trade now, and really I want to share. I want to show everybody the way I trade. So everybody's welcome to ask me any questions. I try to post daily on my Instagram now, so I'll be definitely posting my trades there. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to show you how to trade. I'll send you my Instagram, or say my Instagram now.
I did already. I sent your Instagram in the comment section, and that's it for me. If you have something else that you need to say, feel free, or maybe we can save it for another time or whatever.
Yeah, well, I think I have two things I'd like to say here. Two things is, one thing is discipline. You really have to become disciplined, not only in trading, but in your overall life, because you can't, sure, some people can, but I feel like you can't fully expect to become disciplined in trading when you're slacking off in other areas of your life.
Yeah.
Whether that be you told yourself you're going to read a book, you told yourself you were going to go run a mile, whatever it is that you told yourself, you have to do it. Because the second thing is, if you break your rules, it's going to take you 10 steps back. You need to follow with the rules that you set yourself, and truly follow it. Because if you wrote those rules down for a reason, it means something. It means that that's what you need in order for you to become profitable or successful in your way. And that's what's worked for me, right? Knowing those rules, following it, being disciplined in all, and try to be disciplined in all areas of my life, not just in trading. Because if I'm not being disciplined in other things in my life, I may not be that disciplined on the charts either. So
Yeah.
it goes all around. You can learn a lot from trading, because, for example, you could be 1% better every day at trading, but you could also be 1% better every day in your life.
Yeah.
Whether that be, again, you're going for that mile run, or you're reading another page of that book you said you're going to do, you're looking at that audio book that you said. So strive to be, as I say, 1% better every day. And note down, journal everything, and truly break it down. Like, really figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you for these words of wisdom at the end. People saying, relating to you in the comments. Well, bring more good traders like him. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'll do my best to get.
I think they might be the next one. I hope that's the case.
Yeah. Well, Angel, once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for staying in and joining the questions. We're going to release this recording on our YouTube and on our social media, on our other social media accounts. Enjoy your weekend, and yeah, Angel, if you are tired, get some rest. That's it.
Oh no, we're barely getting the day started.
The market
It's 7 a.m. over here. Let's get to work.
The market is open. You have to start, right?
Yeah, no, I'm done for the day. Normally by 7, I'm I'm off the charts. Yeah, I only give myself 30 minutes. If I can't find a trade within that time, that's it. We gotta stay disciplined, follow those rules.
Yeah, follow those rules. Cheers, man. Enjoy, and see you around Discord, guys.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.